Hey y'all, today we are going to make something. This is March and we celebrate St. Patrick's Day here in the United States. I think because so many Irish people migrated here, and I'm one of them, or my ancestors were. I'm 44% Irish. John's 41%. We didn't know that when we married, but we made our son be 50% Irish, so that's pretty cool, isn't it? But anyway, today, to go with our Irish stew that I think y'all probably watched with me, and we had lots of mic difficulty, so I've been playing with all the settings on the mic today before I got on here, because I had made this bread once before, and it's just the same, a lot of interference, so I said, we're going to do it again, plus my kids want a loaf of this bread anyway, so they tasted it and said, Mom, it's the best bread we've ever had, so I'm making it again. What I want to tell you though is if you've never made any recipe that I've ever showed you or you've watched of mine, please make this one. If you love bread, because you will love it. It is the most flavorful bread. It's so good and it's very fast. It's no yeast. That's what's wonderful about it. It is an Irish soda bread. They call baking soda bread soda in Ireland. And it also is brown with whole wheat flour, and it has Guinness Stout in it, which is an amber colored beer, and it's made in Ireland. It smells really wheaty, yeasty, barley-like. It has a very flavorful scent, but surprisingly, it's extremely mild to taste. I'm pouring it up so you can see that. Can you see what a beautiful color it is? So good. You're going to need a 12-ounce one. I think this one's 11.2, but that's perfect. Perfect. I'm going to show you some of the ingredients, and then I'm going to get you down here on the bread so you can see what I'm doing, okay? Also, I will tell you as I'm putting it in there what and how much. And if you don't want to write down while we're doing it, then if you're watching me on Facebook, before you started this video, it described what I was making. And under that is the list of ingredients, and you might have just seen a portion of it, but at the end of it, it'll say show more, and you'll touch that with your finger, and it'll open up that recipe above me. And then, if you're watching me on YouTube, of course, I'm going to put the recipe in the description box, which is below the video, and it's a little down arrow that you will touch, and it'll open up that recipe down below me. So, between all three ways, I hope you can get this recipe because you've got to make this, okay? These are the things we're going to use. I showed y'all the beautiful brown Guinness Stout. Some of you asked on the stew video, what is Guinness Stout? And it is. It's an Irish beer. And it's very mild and very flavorful. And we tried it when we were in Ireland, and they said you can't always get it here in the United States. It doesn't like to travel. But I found some in our small little old town. So anybody watching locally, I found this in town. Y'all know the places to go to in town, yes. And they have it. So I was tickle pink to find it. So y'all run and go get some. They're going to wonder why everybody's showing up to buy all the Guinness beer all of a sudden. But, okay, so that's what that is. And let's see, what all we're going to have. We're needing whole wheat flour, and what I found is gold medal whole wheat flour. We're going to need that. We're going to need some oats. I always put my oats up before I get on here. Let me grab them again, guys. We're going to need some oats. I've got these Quaker oats. Can y'all see that? Yeah. Okay. And we're going to need all-purpose flour as well, the white bleached flour, and we're only going to need a small amount of it, so I've got it in a little prep bowl. We're going to need bread soda. I love calling it that rather than baking soda. Bread soda. And we're going to need salt. Y'all know what salt looks like. We're going to need brown sugar, and I always use dark brown sugar. It's got that molasses flavor in it. And we're also going to need molasses, except in Ireland we call this treacle, black treacle. Isn't that cool? I just love learning things like that. And that's a cool word for it. So here in the States we call it molasses, but you're going to need some of that black treacle. Yes, you are. It doesn't make this bread sweet either, okay? So don't say, oh, I'm going to leave that out, or the brown sugar. You don't taste it. It's not a sweet bread. It's just full of flavor. So put it in there. And what else we're gonna need? We're gonna need 1 egg. I got one for my girls outside, beautiful brown egg. Buttermilk, and that's what reacts with our baking soda or our bread soda. And this is the buttermilk I have. And I used a whole buttermilk. I don't use fat-free, no. And that reacts with the bread soda, and that's what makes it rise without your yeast. So it's a fast, quick, you mix it up, put it in the oven, and it's done. So it's a quick bread, but it's so very good. We're still going to need the stout. We're going to need, the only other thing is 4 tablespoons of melted Irish butter. And again, I found this in our little video country town here in Louisiana. So I know a lot of you can. It is called Kerrygold. Hope y'all can see that. I know I'm getting out of the light. Kerrygold, one word. Pure Irish butter. It's made in Ireland from grass-fed cows in Ireland. Can you believe this is in our little town? I couldn't believe it. So anyway, I've got unsalted. I think some people in Ireland told me they only could find salted. So either one will work. I'm sure it'll be just fine. And I'm going to need 4 tablespoons of this melted. Plus, I'm going to need more to spread on these pieces of bread to eat later, right? Yes. So don't just get enough to make it. Get you plenty to spread on your bread. Okay, guys, I'm going to come around and get y'all. And I'm praying to the good Lord above that y'all can hear me good, because I have fiddled and fiddled and fiddled with that little microphone. And I'm going to put y'all closer here. Okay, y'all, into our 2 1/2 cups of whole wheat flour, we're going to add 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, just white flour. We're also going to add 1 cup of our oatmeal or old-fashioned oats into there. And I want to tell you to please save, while you're getting out your oats, please save you a few extra to sprinkle on top, because it makes it really pretty and flavorful as well. They get a little crispy and crunchy on top. I love that. Let's see, what else do we need? We need 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. There's 1, and I'm going to do about 1/2 of 1, just like that. And this bread soda, what we know is baking soda, I'm going to put in 2 1/4 teaspoons of bread soda. Make sure it all gets in there. And this is all our dry ingredients, and of course I'm going to mix these around just like this. I watched many videos of Irish women and Irish men making this bread, and it just looked so wonderful. And when I made it, it tasted lots more wonderful than it looked, let me tell you. They make a little well right here in the middle. A lot of them do it with their hands. I won't today, just because I got on my rings. Okay, I'm going to just set those to the side, and we're going to mix up our wet ingredients. We're going to start with 1 egg. 1 egg. And let's see what comes next. We've got 1 cup of buttermilk. 1 cup or 8 ounces or 250 milliliters. Y'all know I like to get it all. I don't like it staying in there. Come on out of there. You're supposed to be in that recipe. Yes, you are. I'm going to need how much of this brown sugar? 1/4 cup brown sugar. Like I say, I used the dark brown. I'm going to need 4 tablespoons of this Irish butter melted. Irish butter seems to be a little more rich in flavor and color and everything, so I said we're making Irish soda bread, we're going to use Irish butter. Since I found it, I was tickled. Let's see here. Did I put my treacle, guys? Let me look here. Doesn't look like I did, but I must have. Oh well, I know y'all know, huh? Okay, let's see. Let me see. I don't see my... No, it is. I knew I didn't put it. Good gracious. Okay. 2 tablespoons of our black treacle, or our molasses. I just knew I hadn't, y'all. I had set it out of the way from me. Goofy me. Okay. And let's see what else. Now we put in our Guinness Stout. That 11.2 ounce. Anywhere between 11 and 12 ounces, you'll be just great. And it needs to be room temp, okay? You don't want it to be cold and start cooling down everything in your bread. So make sure your stout is nice room temp. Okay, back to our bowl of our dry ingredients. We're going to add this right into the middle, and some of your brown sugar and such wants to stay in here, so get it all out. There we go. And at this point, if you mix it and this is going to be a very wet dough, okay? So don't be discouraged and say, this isn't going to make bread. It will, but one time when I made it, it came out really wet, and I think it's because I had sifted my flour, so I didn't have enough, so I stopped sifting because the recipes don't call for sifted flour. I thought I was just being extra fancy little baker, I guess, and this is not a fancy baker bread, but it's so good. What's not fancy about it, it makes up in flavor, I promise you. Okay, guys, and you don't want to over stir it because the soda and that buttermilk reacts and makes it rise. I do wish y'all could smell this. It smells wonderful. Okay, I've got a buttered 9.5 by 6-inch loaf pan right here. I buttered it generously with some of that Kerrygold Irish bread. We're going to pour our... Y'all see how easy this is? It's almost just like too easy. You're like, no way. Yes way, I promise. Okay, guys. Spread it out here evenly. I've got my oven preheating to 400 degrees, and I'm going to get all of this. We don't want to waste a bit of that bread. 400 degrees Fahrenheit and 200 degrees Celsius, whichever one you are. Let me make sure on that Celsius. Yes, 200 Celsius, 400 Fahrenheit. Now we're going to take this loaf, and we'll use a knife and just come down through the middle and run you a line down through there, just cutting into it like that. And that allows for it to split and bake through the middle as well. Doesn't look like it, but it does. And then our extra little oats we had, we're going to sprinkle around on this. Just like this. And I'm going to put it into the oven. It's going to bake. Let me get y'all up here. I know y'all like to see me too, right? This is going to bake for about 45 minutes, and I'm going to use a toothpick to insert. If it comes out clean, then it's done. And then I'm going to let it rest in this loaf pan for about 10 minutes, and I'll turn it out onto a cooling rack, because you want it to be on that cooling rack so it'll get crusty all over on the outside. So I'll be back, guys. Hey y'all, got me some dishwater going to wash up all my bread making bowls. To show y'all, y'all don't have to make such a mess to do it yourself. But anyway, I just do that to show y'all. I wanted to show y'all some things I've gotten in the mail. Y'all send me sweet gifts, and I just don't know what to say, but thank you so much. It's so sweet of you. I've gotten 2. I'm going to open these with y'all. Making sure my microphones are turned on. This first one was from Kay. I'm not going to say your last name, Kay, but you live in Bowling Green, Kentucky. She's like, thank you for letting me know where I live, Amy. Right? Anyway, she sent me the most precious little gift. It says recipes from the heart. But not only is it a cookbook, which is my favorite thing in the world, she wrote me a sweet, sweet note in here. And I'm going to read it to y'all. I'm sorry for bugging you so much for your address. I hope you enjoy this book as much as I did making it. I lived here in this home, and this is where my love for cooking started. Keep your Show's coming. I love them all. I pray with you and John every time you pray, and call on me anytime. I'd love to hear from you. And she gave me her phone number, Kay. And that is so sweet, Kay. Thank you so very much. And when I read that, I realized that you lived here in this home. This actually came from Potter Children's Home. And the Potter Home alumni wrote this cookbook, and Kay is part of that. And that is fabulous to me. This is precious, precious to me. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do with this book, because this is what I do. It's new, and I want to read every little recipe. So I put it on my nightstand, and when I get into bed tonight and John goes to sleep, which is like that, I'll sit here and I will read this little cookbook cover to cover. I won't turn out the lamp, and I won't go to sleep till I've read it all the way to the last page. I can't help myself. I just love it. And as I go, I always have a little highlighter, and I'm like, ooh, and I highlight that little recipe, and I highlight that one because I want to try it all out. And thank you so much. I think that's so precious that y'all came together, the alumni of this little Potter home, and wrote this cookbook. That had to be very therapeutic. I would think so. I sure would. Like getting together with some of your siblings and doing a cookbook. It'd be very, very nice thing to do. So thank you so much. I'll cherish this forever. I really will. And I'm going to read it tonight. I certainly am. This is another thing you sent, and I showed these to John, and he cackled out loud after I had looked at them and cackled out loud. These are some little measuring spoons, and I know sometimes I say these words to y'all. This one is a smidgen. This one is a pinch. Then we have a dash, and we have a tad. And I mean, if that's not perfect, yes it is. I love these because these are a lot of our little measurements we use, aren't they? Yes, they are. So thank you so much, Kay. Thank you, thank you. I'm going to put this back in here because I've got another present I want to open from Bonnie. Bonnie lives in Pearl, Mississippi. She's almost a neighbor to me, really. She really is. She sent me some sweet little things as well. And it said on the outside, handled with care. And I thought, oh my goodness, what? But I see this. This is a Whiskey River Delight. And it is a little cow, and it's sparkly. And you can smell it. When I opened the package, I could smell it. It's beautiful. And I think it has a note in there. Let me get this open and share it with everybody. Y'all are so sweet to send me presents, and you really don't have to. You really don't. I just love y'all getting on here and listening to me yak. Isn't this pretty? That smells so good. I'm going to hang that in my ride. You know I got to go work out today, so I will take that with me and hang it in my ride. I want to say, I think it said her daughter made it because I think it's that little notes in here. So I'm going to put this little cow down. Isn't he cute? He smells beautiful. He smells so good. Thank you so much, Bonnie. So sweet. Y'all are just amazing. She sent me a hot pad for all my cast iron, and I don't have one of these, girls, so this is fantastic. Thank you. And it has a little note in here. I save all my notes, guys, and I'm looking for me a bulletin board I need to get and put in my canning kitchen on the wall, and I'm going to just tack all my notes to it. I think that'd be precious, and I can read them anytime because I love rereading my letters. It says, hi Amy, one is a pot handle for your cast iron skillets or pots with handles. The other is a cow air freshener. Hang over your rearview mirror. My niece makes them. Isn't that sweet? She said, I grew up on a farm and I miss it. Have a blessed day, Bonnie. Bonnie, thank you so much. And I did not grow up on a farm, girl, so I guess this is my turn to be on a farm. I don't know. But a lot of the locals around here are like, Amy, you didn't grow up on a farm. You just seem natural at it. So a lot of people thought I grew up on a farm, but I didn't. I grew up in a subdivision in a bigger town than here. And so anyway, I think I've always been a country girl at heart, I guess. Thank you so much to both of y'all, Kay and Bonnie. Y'all are sweeties. And like I say, I don't show y'all that. I'm just giving you a shout out. I don't show anyone that to get a present from anyone because I love to give much more than I love to receive. What you send me is wonderful, though. I just want to give you a shout out and tell you thank you. And some of you just send me beautiful little notes. I've had a local girl here sent me a letter, and she said it had taken her a while to send it to me, but her mother was ill for a while, and she would be in the hospital bed and home beds, and she would watch my videos, me and Brenda Gant. And I didn't know this. I didn't know this at all. And she wrote me afterwards. She said, it took me a little while to write you, but I want to tell you thank you, because I kept her mother company while she was ill, and she's passed away. And to find out that she was listening to me before she passed on is just so honorable. Honest to goodness, I'm very honored with that. And of course, y'all see, it makes me want to cry. And of course, when I read it first, I did. I bawled. But that's special to me, really special. And that was just a little note, but you see how much it means. So anyway, I just love all y'all sweet, kind comments, and y'all are always showering me with gifts, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I just don't know what to think, and just thank you so much. And I utilize all of them. They're all just special, extra special to me. Y'all, look at this beautiful, beautiful loaf of bread. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, and it smells heavenly. Yes, it does. I'm going to let it cool here. It did go 45 minutes. I'm going to let it cool down just for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to turn it out onto this baking rack. And the reason why you want to do that, because if you leave it in your loaf pan, the bottom and the sides will stay moist or get soggy on you, and you want it to have a nice crisp outer edge. So be sure and turn it out, okay? But let it rest for about 5 or 10 minutes. Some other things I wanted to tell y'all, because of all the mic problems we're having. Y'all, I used to record on my little phone, and my phone got to where it couldn't handle the load of all the videos, so I ordered a camera. And then you couldn't hear me as well on this camera, so I ordered an extra microphone to go on there, and that's what's starting to give me trouble, because it was real good to begin with. Everybody was happy again. And then everybody starts saying, well, you're too dark, Amy. You need to brighten up the room, brighten up the room. And I've got recessed lighting in here in the kitchen. I've got drop-down lights, but it's not enough for cameras. So then I ordered some big lights. Y'all see these? Let me scoot it over here. Woo! Some big old lights. And when I did that, it starts to cause interference with the microphone. Isn't that wonderful? I know. So it's like one thing leads to another. I'm going to get it figured out. I am. So I played around this morning a lot with it. I moved the lights away from the microphone as much as possible and still be shining on us. And so, and also I've been looking at some collar mics. And I know that would help a whole lot if I have my microphone here. So they're expensive, and I just keep spending money and spending money and spending money, you know. So I didn't want John Murray to clobber me, so I waited, but I found one, and it's not wireless. It has a wire, but it has a 9.5 foot wire that comes with it. And y'all gonna have to excuse me. I'll be back. Hello, girl. Okay, y'all, last step. Sorry about my phone call. I am the secretary too of J&J Dirtworks, so I got to get busy with some things before I go into town to work out with that. But I've turned it out onto my cooling rack. Y'all see how beautiful this loaf is? Let me turn this light towards y'all so y'all can see how gorgeous it is. And you see how it did that little split down the middle? Beautiful. Like I say, make this if you've never made anything. Please excuse Jax, I don't know how to control him. Y'all, this is going to be the hardest part of this bread, is to sit and let it cool completely. And they say completely, and I can't do it. But I am going to let it cool for about 20 minutes, and I'll get back here with y'all, and we'll butter a slice of it with that Irish butter, and I'll enjoy it with y'all. I wish I could hand each and every one of you a slice of it. I do. Yes, I do. Something else I was going to tell you. Yeah, I'm getting me that new collar mic. I hope that helps with the sound on here. And I hope y'all can see this Irish flag waving behind me. I got that when I visited Ireland in December of 2018. It was before the pandemic. Yay! The good old days, as we call them. And my youngest son, John Tyler, and I, we went there with a whole group from the school and local teachers and school staff and friends of the community. It was 33 of us, and we had a grand time, and Ireland was just beautiful. We had recently done an Ancestry.com and found out that I had 44% Irish, and my son's 50 because John is 41%, so that was pretty cool. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful country, just gorgeous. And we met a friend there, our tour bus driver. He's also a coach and a teacher, I believe. He works at a school anyway, so shout out to Robert for that, working with kiddos. But anyway, I'm friends with him on Facebook, and he watches some of our cooking videos. So I hope he enjoys this, since I'm cooking comfort food, Irish comfort food. So I hope I made you proud, Robert. Let's see. What else? Oh, my video about the Irish stew on the stove. When we start out over here and I'm talking to you about it, you just cannot hear me. My microphone has gone. I think these lights were messing it up. I don't know. But anyway, once I move over to the stove with y'all, then you can hear me. So if you want to watch the Irish stew and you turn it on, you're like, oh, well, fast forward, because that's just me showing you the ingredients. I'm going to do it at the stove. The recipe's above me on Facebook and below me on YouTube. So you can just fast forward over to the stove and you can hear me pretty good. And then John comes on there and he tastes it for the first time with me, and you can hear me real good then. So just letting you know that if you want to try to watch that. And I think that's all. Oh, this smells so good. I don't want to cut into this because I'm giving it to my son and his wife, Katie, my daughter-in-law. So I don't want to cut into it. You don't want to give somebody a cut into loaf, right? I cut into the first video I made where you can hardly hear me. But y'all will watch me cut into it and we'll taste it. On the stew video at the very end, we butter a piece of it. But how you can do this bread, you can just eat it, a buttered piece. You can slice a piece off, toast it, and then butter it for your morning toast. You can put jam on it. And something else I did, and I will post that video later, be looking for it, but I sliced it and I made club sandwiches out of it. Yes! For John and me, he was working here on the farm clearing pastures, and I did that for him and me, and I took a picnic lunch, and so I'll post that video later too. And I'm also going to post a video. I think I said this on the stew video, but you may not could have heard me, but we took a tour on a horse and buggy ride through a national park in Ireland. I hope I'm not lying. I think we were in Kerry. We were around that ring of Kerry, and we were close to the shore of the ocean and stayed in this cute little family-owned hotel. That's what we stayed in, and I love that because you really get to see Ireland and the people of Ireland. But then in the morning after we ate breakfast, our tour guide said, hey, we've got time before the bus leaves. We can take a horse and buggy ride through a national park across the road. And we're all like, yeah! I think every single one of us went. So that was fabulous. And Paula and I, hey Paula girl, we got stuck in the front at the buckboard with the driver, and he was born and raised there in the park. His father was the groundskeeper. He is the groundskeeper, and he owns the horse and buggy ride little company. So he was like the best driver to me and the best tour guide, and he's funny. He's steadily cracking jokes, and he has a strong Irish accent. So it's a perfect Ireland experience. And I want to share that with y'all. It's on my old phone, so I've got to do some editing. It's going to be in the portrait mode. It won't be landscape because it was just on my little Samsung phone. But still, it doesn't matter. You can just get into that video. And we're on a horse, and he's beautiful, and he's going clippity-cloppity, clippity-clop the whole time through the park. You see ocean. You see a beautiful old church. You see a castle. many streams, and it's beautiful greenery, and we're there in December, and it's cold. But you'll see Tyler, John Tyler, he's in the back of the wagon with a lot of the other people in our group. He's at the very back, and maybe when I'm editing it, I'll put John Tyler there so y'all know that's him. But anyway, that was a grand tour, and it's something that I'll never forget, and that started our whole tour off in Ireland, was that horse and buggy ride in that national park. And I'll name the national park. I've got to look it back up. I have it written down, and I don't know. But I'll find out, and I'll let you know. And I want to share that with y'all so badly, because you can just lose yourself in that whole little ride. And I'm at the front of the buggy, so you can see everything first off. So anyway, guys, I'm going to get off here. I've got some important office business I've got to tend to before I go work out. I just wanted to say hi and let y'all see how beautiful this bread is coming fresh out of the oven. This is my second loaf, and I'm going to give it to John, Tyler, and Katie. And I wish I could send each and every one of y'all a piece of it. Some of you that are around here locally and know me, y'all know y'all can sweet talk me into making you a loaf of this bread. You know you can. So y'all can give me a little shout out, and I'll get y'all a little loaf of bread. I imagine I could do a few of them, huh? Okay, guys, bye-bye. Happy St. Patrick's Day.